Creating a blog, blogger.com. In creating a blog to use in the classroom, there are many different blogging sites available on the web for teachers to use that are free. I'm going to show you how to set up an account in blogger.com, which is the blogging site by Google. Simply go to a search engine and type in www.blogger.com. You will be directed to this site. In creating a blog to use in the classroom for reader response, you as a teacher can either create one classroom blog in which you can grant all students access to use, or depending on the age level of your students, you might find it more appropriate for each student to create their own blog. Either way, to create a blog, you will click Get Started. You will then be directed to this site. If you do not have a Google account, or if your students do not, you can guide them in entering an email address and a password to create a Google account. If you do already have a Google account, you simply have to click Sign In first and enter your email and your password that correspond with your Google account. And then you can click Sign In. The first step in creating a blog is to name your blog, depending on the purposes for what you're using your blog for. I'm just going to title my blog Reader Response. The next step is to create a URL. This is how you and your students will access your blog by typing in this web address. You can create a URL and then you can click Check Availability to see if this URL is available. If it is not, you can simply type in a new title for the URL. Next, type in the words that are displayed and then you can click Continue. On this page, you will choose a starter template for your blog. Once your blog is created, you are able to edit the fonts and the colors and the general layout of your blog, but just to begin, you must choose a starter template. I'm going to choose the simple template, and then I'm going to click Continue. Your blog is then created. Simply click Start Blogging to begin, and you will be directed to this page. Creating a post. Once you've created a classroom blog, or you have guided your students in creating individual blogs, the first step is to teach your students how to create a post. When they are in their blog, they will select the Posting tab. The first step is to create a title for their post. If it is a classroom blog, you may want to have your students include their name in the title. In the blank spaces where students will type their response to their reading. Similar to Microsoft Word, there are many different icons that students can use to edit their text. Students can highlight the text to change the font type, or students can select a certain word that may be important in their response to bold. Students can also highlight their text to change the color by selecting the color palette. Students are also given the option of uploading video or images that may contribute to their posts to help their peers understand their feelings or connections of their response to the reading. So you can select this icon, and I'm going to upload an image from my computer. So I'm going to click Choose File, and I'm going to select a picture from my desktop. You can choose where you would like the image to be located on the post. I'm going to have it in the left corner and click Upload. And the image then has been added. So then this is what the post looks like. When students are ready for it to be published, they can click Publish Post. And the post has then been published successfully to the blog, and you can click View Post. This is what the blog will look like. As you will notice, the most recent post will be at the top of the blog. This is the only post that I have so far. On the right-hand side is the blog archive. So as students create more and more posts, they will show up in the archive and they will be sorted according to month. So if you would like to read a certain post, you can click on the month and then click on the title of the post. Posting a comment. Once you have taught your students how to create a post, you can then teach them how to respond to their peers' posts in their blogs or in the classroom blog. Students first have to identify the post in which they would like to respond and then scroll to the bottom. They will see the number of comments for the post and click on this. A text box will then appear, and this is where students can type their response to the post. Once the response is written, the student can then click Publish. The comment will appear in the blog. The owner of the blog can then go to the posting section by clicking on New Post in the upper right-hand corner. By clicking on the Comments tab, the owner of the blog will notice that any new comments on posts will appear in this area, and then can decide if he or she would like to respond. Changing settings. In the blog that I created, Reader Response, I am the only author of the blog. Therefore, I am the only person that can create posts in this blog. If you have created a classroom blog, or if your students are working in small reading groups, and more than one student needs to be able to post, you will need to add authors to the blog. In order to add authors to the blog, you will click on the Settings tab, which is located at the top of the page. After you click Settings, you will then click on Permissions, which is on the right-hand side. As you can see, I'm the only person listed under Blog Authors. To add more authors to the blog, click Add Authors, and you will enter the email of the students that you would like to have permission to post to the blog. Students must have a Google account, so you're entering their Google email in this text box and separating them by commas and then clicking Invite. As a default, all blogs are viewable by anybody, so anybody that comes across the blog or has the URL. For security reasons, if you would just like your blog to be viewable by the authors, you can choose this option, or if you want your whole class or only some students to be able to view the blog, you can type in these students' Google emails in this text box and then click Invite.